Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for inviting me as well this evening to talk through the app. Um, so I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of the development process of our app, Life in the Womb, from a front-end perspective, and give you a bit of the background story of kind of how we came up with the app. Basically, we're a 3D visualization company that specializes in scientific graphics. So we help biotech companies and institutions to visualize their research and technologies. Okay, so that's actually that's a medical device implant, a hip implant called the X-Bolt that we did. That's a still from a 3D animation for a surgical procedure. So in addition to creating custom-made illustrations and animations, our company has, over the last few years, been building a large database of stock scientific images. We've about 6,000 or so at the moment, and we license them to all sorts of publishing and marketing companies around the world. So some of these images have appeared in National Geographic and Popular Science, Time Magazine, New Scientist, any kind of scientific publication you can imagine, really. So about 2 years ago, we noticed that one particular subject matter was really popular, and that was pregnancy images, and specifically fetal development images. We developed a set of images, of 40 images, that showed the progress and development of the fetus throughout the pregnancy. So these images were selling really well, so we had the idea to develop them into a kind of self-contained product, which was this very simple HTML slider. So I'm not sure if you can see it at the bottom there, but there's a kind of a little scrubber that you can move along to just see the baby develop through the pregnancy. So we tried to sell this to pregnancy websites, and they didn't really go for it, and it was a bit of a flop as a product. But we quite liked it, and we liked the idea of using our images for something other than just kind of decoration for magazines. And around the same time, my business partner Owen, his wife was pregnant on their second child, so he was really kind of absorbed in the whole kind of pregnancy thing and reading a lot of pregnancy books. And he had the idea for us to kind of expand out on this content a bit, and instead of just having like a simple slideshow, to make an event out of each week and have interactive animations that would explain what was going on throughout the pregnancy and highlight the different milestones of development. So we realized straight away that our expertise was kind of limited for the type of app that we wanted to create. So we sought out some partners to work with to kind of build the app that we envisioned. The first people we contacted was Redwind Software, who are an app development company based in Dublin. And we pitched the idea to them with the intention of maybe hiring them to build the app for us. But they really liked it, and they really liked the graphics, and they agreed to partner with us to create the app. We then met with the National Maternity Hospital and UCD to help us with the content, and particularly we wanted the app to really be something that would engage expectant parents. So we wanted to understand from a doctor's perspective the type of information that they'd be interested in. So the following slide is, if I just run through kind of the app and give you an idea of kind of how it works. So that's the title screen there. This is week 20. I'm not sure how clear it is. So the milestone this week is that it's around the time that the baby starts to kick for the first time, that the mother could potentially feel it. So the interactive hotspot that week is like you tap and the baby kicks. A little kind of text slider comes out from the side, and it tells you about the types of stuff you'll be doing in the hospital that week. So that week is around the time that you get, I think it's the second ultrasound. One of the ideas that Redwind came up with for the app was this navigation wheel. So we kind of wanted to encourage people to navigate right the way through the 40 weeks and kind of jump back and forward instead of just kind of staying on any one particular week or moving through it in a kind of linear way. So we had the idea to incorporate this wheel, which is a bit like the original HTML app that we built. So if you kind of slide your finger around that, you get the growing kind of fetus. That's all right. And it encourages you to, most people don't really find out that they're pregnant until like 10 weeks or so, but we wanted them to go back to the very start and kind of see where it all began as well. So this is week 6, and this is around the time that the heartbeat starts for the first time. So the interactive hotspot this week is you tap on it and you see the heart beating for the first time. This week 7, 8, 9, 10. So around week 10 is when the baby has kind of separate digits and can move its fingers for the first time. So that's kind of what that week is about. So throughout the app, we also have some like quite technical scientific information about the development that's happening. And for that more dense information, we have this kind of these schematic kind of styled images. I think there's a few more of those. That's lung development, the umbilical cord as well. So one of the other kind of innovations that we came up with talking to Redwind was this idea that the app would function in 2 ways. So when you hold it in landscape, you're inside the womb and everything's all animated and interactive. And if you turn the iPad over to portrait view, it kind of turns into almost like an ebook, and you can just browse through the information that way. So one of the other big kind of innovations that we came up with was the idea of 3-dimensional rotations that you could interact with. Now the iPad is a little bit limited in terms of the complexity of the 3D models that it can generate, and our models are very detailed. So we came up with a solution where basically we rendered the baby from 72 different angles, and then using some coding, basically built it so that you can just kind of slide your finger back and forth over the image, and you get this kind of sense of the 3D rotation of the baby. So that's basically the app. I guess if I have kind of any piece of advice for people that are considering, getting into apps or building apps, it would be the importance of collaboration and not to be intimidated if you don't have any expertise in building apps at all, because we didn't. And actually, in many ways, we kind of found that the app itself benefited from the fact that we didn't understand apps at all. So we just had these really, high expectations of what we wanted to achieve with the app, and it just became a really interesting process of collaboration with the different kind of artists, programmers, writers, doctors to pull the whole thing together. Thanks very much.